In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, there's a city called Honolulu, and it is the capital of the Kingdom of Hawaii, which also happens to be the one of the states of the United States of America. And so Honolulu is also the capital of the state of Hawaii in the United States of America. And it happens to be one of my favorite destinations to visit. Um, at first, my relationship with Honolulu started just like how everyone else's relationship with Honolulu starts, tourism. I had never actually visited Honolulu, or Hawaii for that matter, until I was in my 30s. But as I was growing up, I had always had friends or even tutoring students who went on family vacations to Hawaii. And I remember being really jealous about, oh man, they get to go to Hawaii, this supposedly exotic paradise, and how wonderful would it be to go to that kind of a place. And after I got married with my wife, I could now get to go to Hawaii, and we decided to spend some time in the winter there. And over time, Hawaii became more than just a tourist destination for me, as I was thinking about life in general and what I want to be doing with my life. You all know I'm a life coach, and this may not be especially pronounced, but I'm also a Korean life coach. And I'm also a Korean Buddhist life coach. In thinking about the best way to integrate my strengths to be of use and purpose and impact in this lifetime, I think about how can I utilize my identity to make the world a little bit better of a place. And by better, I mean, how can I make the world suffer a little bit less? And as I said, since I am a Korean, I naturally think about what Koreans can offer to the rest of the world. Korea has a long history of being invaded by many different nations because it happens to be in a peninsula. So sometimes it's from the north, sometimes it's from the east, sometimes it's from the west, but we have always been attacked. And the most recent incident of this is the Japanese occupation of Korea. And while we were occupied, we resisted. We resisted pretty hard. Not all Koreans fervently resisted. Some of them, they just decided that this is how life was going to go and started accepting it, which is a way of living life. But thanks to all the liberty fighters who fought with blood and death in mind, we get to enjoy this freedom as a sovereign nation of Korea. But throughout the way, we have lost too many lives. Throughout the way, we have fought for peace, we have fought for freedom in a way that incurred a lot of suffering. And those ramifications are something that Koreans are even experiencing to this day as a modern Korean. Since I am a Korean who grew up way after liberation and way after the Korean War, and since I started thinking about Buddhism and how to live life in a more happy way, I thought about how we could perhaps rewrite Korean history. How can we make sure that we can fight for liberty in a happy way without suffering? As I was entertaining these ideas in mind, I had an opportunity to start working with an organization in Hawaii. My grand goal for Hawaii is hopefully to have enough of a presence for me or other Buddhist activists over there so that we can make the island a bit of a happier place than it is right now, even with all the conditions remaining the same. And when people have the ability to access freedom in the current state, then we can start collectively discussing and talking about how can we liberate Hawaii? How can we be a free Hawaii once again? This doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to succeed from the United States, because there are many sovereign nations that are technically sovereign but are living under the influence of more powerful nations. And if you can be sovereign but still be bound by external powers, why can't you be technically part of a United States but also be free? This is the freedom that I'm interested in cultivating for the Hawaiians. But unfortunately, I don't live in Hawaii. I was never born in Hawaii, and I have no real say in how Hawaiian politics should go. But one thing I can do is reach Hawaiian people's hearts and offer them what it's like to live in peace, despite all the things that are happening around you right now. Unfortunately, Hawaii has a lot of things going on around it. There are lots of military bases being built against the population's will, and it comes at the demise of natural habitats and animal environments. Many of the natives are being displaced because real estate development tends to favor those people with capital. And because real estate is being developed that way, it tends to attract rich people who are interested in Hawaii as a vacation spot rather than a home. And throughout that process, people forget that this was a sovereign kingdom, and there are people who are the rightful heirs, the rightful descendants of the original population of Hawaii, but now they are in a very high percentage incarcerated or removed or displaced or living in disadvantaged economic situations. Trying to find solutions for all of these is going to be difficult in my lifetime, but trying to find happiness in these times is somewhat of a more realistic goal. It's around the time I had these contemplations I started working with Spill the Tea Cafe. It's a nonprofit in Hawaii, specifically Honolulu, working for the mental health uh, for LGBTQ teenagers in Hawaii. The founder, Halen Dennison, has been working very, very hard for raising the standard of mental health care in the state of Hawaii so that it can be the leader of public mental health policies and practices in the United States and the world. The primary visit of my most recent visit to Hawaii was to have a talk. I had a public speaking event at the cafe, and it was for college admissions and how to practice practical mindfulness for parents and college-bound teens, or teens who are getting ready for college. Why is this important? And I also spoke about this topic in a video recently on my YouTube channel. But why is this important? This is important because Hawaii, unfortunately, tends to be near the end of the national rankings when it comes to education. I'm trying my best to even the playing field here and bring my influences to Hawaii so that the people who are interested in academics, who are interested in going to college in the mainland, can be more resourced than they are right now when it comes to competing for a spot in college admissions in the mainland. Because these kids, these teenagers, are going to be the future of Hawaii. And in order to have success in the mainland, they could work on their academics. They could work on a lot of other, competitive things that all the other mainland kids do. But what I really wanted to emphasize for the kids this time is that being a Hawaiian is a value. Being a Hawaiian is a resource. And the more we tap into that, the more we tap into the identity of being a Hawaiian, and the more we understand what it means to be Hawaiian and what responsibility we hold for the world by being Hawaiian, the more we can carry that over to our college experience and to come back and impact the home island in a greater way. These are the things that I was primarily interested in discussing with the teenagers. And I'm happy to say that I think, based on my perspective, the event went pretty well. And there was also an earlier event in March where I did a self-defense seminar led by Angela Lee, the MMA champion and one in the fighting circuit won. And it was another opportunity for me to bring something that I know into the island and have the teenagers be more influenced to it, and so that they can learn how to fend for themselves without being violent, without having to physically attack and harm other people. Then, because that's the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu, you can practice control in any step of the way. So I could have done all of this and I could have just spoken to you about the event, but this time I wanted to take a few more videos and share some of the things that I really love about Honolulu and Hawaii in general. And more specifically, what I really like is Waikiki. But who doesn't love Waikiki? Um, I so I wanted to focus a little bit on what specifically I like about Waikiki. Of course, the beach is a wonderful place for you to go to in Hawaii, and the Waikiki beaches are very, very peaceful, and it's great for surfing. And I always like to do a little bit of surfing every time I'm out there, but this time I was there only for a few days, and I was a little bit feeling under the weather, so I couldn't really go out and paddle out and catch some waves. But as you can see here, the waves are absolutely beautiful, and the temperature is really nice too. Although I will say, over the years, I feel like Hawaii is getting a little bit colder, but maybe it's because I always go during the winter time. Public transportation is also surprisingly really good. The bus used to be $2, which is practically a steal, but now it's $3, but it's still great. And a lot of people rent cars in Hawaii, but the traffic in Honolulu tends to be pretty bad. So if you're planning on going to places not too far away, then my personal recommendation is for you to get a holo card and start riding the bus. Bus comes fairly frequently, and if you use the transit app on whatever phone you use, the transit app is always up to date with the latest bus arrivals and such, so you can always plan your trips that way. The bus to and from the airport to Waikiki, it used to be a little bit longer. It had a bit of a longer route that went to some other places in between, but the newly designed W line is very fast. It just takes you directly from the airport directly to the Waikiki strip, so it's a good time to ride the bus. Another quirk of the Hawaiian bus is that the electronic sign where they usually tell you the line number, the bus also throws a shaka, which is a very big Hawaiian cultural thing. And every time you see a shaka, you feel like you're getting a spread of the aloha. And I think that's a wonderful way how public transportation can really meld with the people. A culture I really like is the lei, and it's basically like a floral or macadamia nut uh, neck ornament, and it's usually given to a guest visiting person uh, by a local, and Halen is always kind enough to get me lei on my neck. And what do we do with the lei after we are done wearing it? We usually give it back to the waters, or as you're seeing me do here, we give it to the statue of either the duke or the prince or princess. There are many of these statues with lots of leis, and that's how we repurpose these flowers. And of course, we have to talk about the food. I love poke, and poke kind of ruined seafood for the both of us because now we just can't have it anywhere else because the Hawaiian poke is so authentic. And another quick snack that we usually like to have is musubi, which is what you see here. Because I'm a Korean, I grew up liking eating spam, but apparently Americans in general really dislike spam, which was a little surprising to us because to us spam was a really good side dish to have. It was kind of a symbol of affluence almost. But anyway, spam musubis are very popular here in Hawaii, and poke, I think a mark of a good poke is I mean, yes, there are so many different poke spots in Hawaii, and many people argue about what the best poke in Hawaii is, but I always find myself gravitating towards Ono seafood simply because number one, I believe the more simple it is, the more um depth of the flavor you get because you just clearly get the intentions of the dish without needing to resort to a lot of these things that just make everything taste good, right? So, what is it like? Deep when you deep fry it, even a shoe tastes good. So, Ono Seafood really focuses on basic ingredients and just gives you what the dish should be about. And in particular, I've tried to make my own poke for a very long time. I tried multiple variations, but um, I also eat a lot. I also tried some pokés outside of Hawaii, and I think the common thing that a lot of the other poke shops get wrong is, I think, the oil. As you can see from this video, I think a good poke doesn't really leave a lot of oil residue. It's not that greasy. And it's really nice to eat some poke that is just the right seasoning, just the right amount of sesame oil and the right amount of oil from the fish itself. And so I think these like really the ingredients are so well thought of, and it's just really well seasoned. And yeah, I think for these reasons I just really prefer the Ono seafood. And a little bit north of the hotel strips, you're gonna see this waterway called the Alawai Canal. And the Alawai is it's a popular jogging route for many people, but I fell in love with this place ever since I first saw it, right? I just generally like bodies of water, but having this kind of a canal right next to the ocean, it kind of gives you that juxtaposition of two different kinds of bodies of water. And I don't know, I just really like the peaceful feeling that I get from this canal, where possibly because it doesn't have a lot of waves. But the unfortunate thing though was I learned that the Alawai Canal had actually been uh built over traditional farmlands that the people used to rely on, and it turned out to have a very negative environmental impact. But since I started taking a keen interest in it, there have been a lot of volunteer movements that are focused on improving the water quality of the Alawai Canal. And I think I can really notice the difference because in March, happened to walk past a group of people who are actually doing the volunteering. They call these the Genki balls. Genki is like health in Japanese, and it's these balls with the dirt and chlorophyll and all these like water filtering things, and then volunteers go around the canal and then start basically chugging the Genki balls, and then it starts to have an effect. And in March, I didn't see like a noticeable improvement, but this time when I went, I saw so many fishes, and I could feed those many fishes not because there were so many of them, but the water was so clear that I could see depths of the canal that I wasn't able to see before. So I think the people are doing the local community is doing a great job at saving the quality of water. And I think I heard a plan of making it swimmable by year something, and I truly hope that they succeed because it's a great body of water. I just love being there, as evidenced by this photo. There's also these character shops. There's a lot of character shops around Sanrio, and that I understand because there's a lot of Japanese people in Hawaii. But something I don't understand is Snoopy and Moomin. Snoopy is an American character, but I don't outside of Hawaii. I don't really see any Snoopy merchandise or Peanuts merchandise with surfing in them, but for some reason, it's this is very in Hawaii, and Moomin is this. I think it's Finnish, is it? Okay, so yeah, Moomin is a character created by a Swedish-speaking Finnish author, Tove Jansson, and basically, I can't think of a reason why this Nordic character would be associated with Hawaii, a very tropical island. But in any case, it's very popular, and they have a shop in the Ala Moana shopping center, and it's strange, but they have really good quality merchandise. So yeah, I guess it's like a more of a Japanese people loving characters kind of a thing. But anyway, I find that I also, as you can see from the back, I like collecting cute things. So that's something worth noticing in Waikiki as well. So every time we're in Hawaii, we just kind of end up doing the same thing. Go visit the cafe and then do some public events and talk to the teenagers and talk to the mental health care providers there. And then we spend time in Waikiki, chilling at the beach, walking at the Alawai Canal, eating some poke, and going to the library, reading some books, and relaxing at the hotel. It doesn't sound like much because it isn't, but with the great hospitality you have of the Hawaiian people, especially when you respect their lands, and the more you learn about Hawaiian history, and the more you can appreciate the nature and the culture there. And it's just a really wonderful place to be in. And it's not without its problems, like the homeless people and drug abuse and things like that. But hopefully, with my but hopefully with all the things that I am doing, I'm at least making one person's impact, which I'm hoping with this video will influence you to help me in making Hawaii a happier island. And if you're interested in checking out Spill the Tea Cafe, the link is down in the descriptions below. And this turned out to be a pretty lengthy travel video, but yeah, I just came back from it. The trip yesterday. So I wanted to make this video while it was fresh because if I don't, believe it or not, I also procrastinate and I'll never end up making the video. Okay, well, that's my travel video and see you in the next one.